Hi everyone and welcome to the June edition of DroneBlocks Up in the Air. I'm your host, Clinton Evans. In today's episode, we're going to look at the first YouTuber to fly in a drone. Yep, in a drone. Then I'm going to show you some amazing code that some students sent me. And then what's going to make this episode different is you're going to watch me train a self-driving 8-bit car to celebrate the launch of our upcoming machine learning course. I'm very excited about that. And then I'm going to reveal to you last month's Tetris challenge, as well as give you a new challenge. Hint, it could be 4th of July themed. So that's June's episode for you. So let's get into it. Now, something really cool that came across my desk was the first YouTuber to fly inside a drone. That's right. Supercar Blondie is a YouTube channel and they featured flying a $495,000 human drone. So don't think they'll be flying off the shelves just yet for the average person, but it's a pretty cool concept that you put a human inside a drone. And this video was pretty cool. It showed that the drone weighed less than a motorcycle, the safety mechanisms that they introduced, how you could have some of the propellers fail and the drone would still stay up in the air, the parachute launch. It was very cool to watch. And then you actually, if you watch the whole video, you will see the YouTuber fly up, move around and land inside a drone. What a time it is to be alive. That is so cool. And speaking of cool, I got sent some code from some 6th graders from Shaker Middle School. It was done in our DroneBlocks simulator and it looks like this. The students allow you to enter the number of sides of the shape you want to fly. So let's just say we want to stick with the octagon. You launch your mission and the drone is going to fly in a 3D octagon. It is so cool. Let's zoom out and let's speed up this video. So as you can see, it does the base first. Once it's done the base, it then repeats the shape, filling in the sides, and you're left with a 3D octagon. Incredible. And speaking of incredible, let's have a sneak peek at our machine learning course with Pat, Ryan, and Databot. The entire course is launching soon, and it explains everything in great detail for today. So I'm going to launch the script, and here we go. Press any key to start. Okay, so now I am using my left and right arrow keys to steer this car. You'll hear my tapping as I want to stay quite straight. Look at me go. I am driving an 8-bit car, so I'm going to speed this up real quickly. No pressure, no stress. You can see the sweat dripping from the forehead. But here I'm driving, trying to stay in my lane. And this is capturing my keyboard movements, and it's learning how to drive on the road. And we're going to see what the results are in a second. Let's go. Let's go. Cool. Any key to quit. It's now captured my keystrokes. I then run my script that is going to train the model based on my inputs left and right. And when I go straight, it's done that. Some very cool things happening behind the scenes doing the training. And Pat, Ryan does an amazing job explaining all those code to you. Now, once I've created my model, the training data, I then get to launch the code using the third example script where we're going to get our 8-bit car to drive based on the way I drove the car earlier. So let's see what that looks like when I run the script. Okay, now I get to pick if I wanted to do a random road or the sine wave road. I'm going to go random and let's just see what happens. Okay, so no hands. It's driving by itself. It's going left and right as I was trying to oversteer sometimes. And if you notice, it's actually touching the left and the right side because sometimes I was touching the areas. So clearly you can't trust me with a more expensive car than the 8-bit car. But look at this. This 8-bit car is driving itself. That is so cool. Now, just to show you that this does actually work, I am going to do some very poor training real quick. So I'm driving off the road. I'm going all over the place. And as you'll notice that you do not want my training data to enter your vehicle. Even ChatGPT can't save us from this driving. Okay, so I'm deliberately driving terribly. And let's see what happens when I train this into the system. Alright everyone, moment of truth. I'm going to launch my code based on my terrible driving. Let's see. Random road. And yeah, it's about right. So as you can see, the vehicle, my little 8-bit car, is not driving very well because the quality of the training data for the model was poor. So of course, what you put into the training model is what you get out. I cannot wait for when this course hits the curriculum. It's very, very soon. And you get to learn to do all of this yourselves. And even you and your students will be able to train your own 8-bit car. It's so exciting. And speaking of exciting, let's look at last month's Up in the Air challenge. Now, the challenge in the code for your telos or in the simulator was to fly in your favorite Tetris piece. So here's a quick example of what I did, but I'm going to set my speed to say 70 just to speed up. I'm going to launch my code, and real quickly you're going to see my drone in the simulator take off, and it's going to fly in the classic, everyone's favorite piece, the 4 straight lines. Oh, it's one of everyone's favorite piece. So this basically is like a 3D printer where I just make this Tetris piece. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. We have 3 functions. Each function has its purpose. One does the base, the other one does the up and down part, and the other one is the filler. Now, there's another way of doing this. In this next example, I have made another version in this shape. So I'm going to launch this code and I'm going to explain this version of the code. So if you launch our mission, you will see that I set the speed to 60. I have a function called shape filler with Y as an input. Inside that shape filler, I have up down with X as an input. What I am doing is I am taking the Y value of 0 and I'm using that with the up down so that the first time we do a base, the fly up down value is 0. Then I reuse that same function, but this time I set the value to 20, which is why we end up with the base initially, and then we get the same function to launch with the up and down value of 20 that fills in the shape. Now that's so much easier than writing multiple functions and doing the base first and then going up and down and then doing a lid. What you could do is you could rename these variables instead of X and Y. Remember, we like nicely named variables, but this is just a nice way of showing you a different way of flying in a Tetris piece. Now, your challenge for the July edition is to use your drone to emulate a firework exploding. So it'll look like something flying up and then going in various positions, always coming back to the center. So it looks like a firework's gone. That makes, what even is this? This isn't a firework, but hopefully that explained it clear enough. Okay, so that clearly takes us to the end of this video. Now, if you enjoyed watching or you learned something new, don't forget to like and subscribe to our DroneBlocks YouTube channel. And until the next episode, keep your drones in the air, your students engaged, and have fun.